evening, or welcome to some more StarMade. So, what we're going to do today, this is actually, I guess, a sad moment for this ship. My glorious Titan was attacked. As you can see, look how buggered up it is. Very annoying. So, we're going to talk today about repairing ships, because that's pretty much what I end up doing. And we'll talk maybe also at the end towards about turrets as well. But anyway, StarMade. Let's look at this. Basically, I was flying my mighty. I actually call this ship the Mighty Boosh. If you don't know why, Google Mighty Boosh and BBC, and you'll see why. It's a great TV program. Anyway, basically, what we had was funny, really. Those of you who play EVE Online will know what I mean by the Rifter. The Rifter is a spaceship in EVE, and I saw one on the Blueprint website, so I downloaded it and had a look at it, and it was pretty good. It was very interesting. Wasn't that big. It was only maybe a third, not even that, probably a fifth of the size of this mighty Titan. However, I basically was flying through space, and what happens is the game randomly creates any blueprint you create. It will also randomly create that blueprint for hostiles, so pirates can spawn with stuff. So I was basically flying along, and a Rifter attacked me, and that's kind of part A of the story. Basically, the Rifter attacked me, so I legged it. And as I legged it, I managed to get to a store and pause there for a moment. Now, also as part of this blueprint shop, I had actually downloaded a Star Destroyer. And guess what the game saw fit to spawn in a pair, basically a pair of Star Destroyers spawned and then just wiped out my ship, basically. Now, to be honest, I didn't do too much damage because I was actually in the other room making a cup of tea, as any good English gent does. And I heard, because luckily I had sound enabled, and I heard an almighty banging crash coming from my room, sadly, which is rare to hear. But I sort of came into the room to find, basically I was under attack. I was being nuked by two Star Destroyers. Now, what they actually did was the turrets on my ship did a great job. They actually managed to repel and attack back, which is really cool. However, sad, and the turrets just weren't strong enough. So basically, it was a bit of a balls up. Now, again, this game is fantastic that you can just, you can lose everything in a split second. So thankfully, I managed to get the hell away again. And this time, and you can actually change your server configuration file. Thanks to Rem for that, because he showed me how to do that. He told me how to do that. So I've managed to disable the Star Destroyers. At least I think I have, anyway. But so in the process of repairing this this poor stricken beast, it's really just about putting all of the mods back on. Now, this is the thing with this ship. It is a salvager ship. It's a mining ship at the front, and it's kind of, it's like a mullet. Think of it as kind of business at the front, pleasure at the back kind of things. Party time at the back. So this is literally the USS Mullet. That's it. Decided. It's naming ceremony. I need a bottle of champagne to smack against it. Anyway, so I think in general this is a utility ship because it can actually mine. It can also fire. I mean, the cannons are pretty good on the front, these things that I'm repairing here. But I think the problem is that when you start to take fire, blocks such as laser and salvager and whatever are not particularly good. So hence the damage. So what I actually do, and I won't show it in this video, I'll show it in another video, but I actually build a complete hull around this front part of the ship, which paid dividends. I think it was a really good thing to do. So we're putting the camera back on so I can actually fly it properly, otherwise you're sort of seeing from the front. But I think really, it's again a masterpiece of the game because it's one of these things where, this shouldn't be enjoyable at all. This should be a chore. But I was actually quite pleased that they attacked me. There's something quite enjoyable about rebuilding it, maybe remodeled a bit of it as well. So obviously this front bit is a bit of a kind of bridge, I don't know, fire cannon sort of sector. But what we could also do is start to really build the ship to be even bigger. Now, again, I think I'm gobsmacked by the scale of what this game can do because, again, this ship just keeps growing, and the enjoyment of doing it. I mean, it's Minecraft basically, but what you get from it is you get a space, kind of faring version of it. So in Minecraft, it's all about building a massive castle or a home or a wonderful building or something extraordinary. In this, it literally is about building your ship. I can think of no comparator where you get the privilege to do this. There's a few games out there that I think are looking to kind of cash in, if you like, on the build your own starship market. But the reality is, and yeah, this doesn't look pretty, but trust me, if you watch these videos and you think, God, it looks like a pile of shit, not my ship, don't be rude, but basically if you think the game looks like a pile of shit, then I can only promise you, once you've got past that, so it's like Minecraft, once you've got past that, it actually becomes, you forgive it, you almost ignore it, you forget it, in fact. And that's really nice, because what I think I really liked about the game was the fact that you could pretty much build anything. And as long as you can kind of suspend disbelief that everything's a bit blocky, you do have quite an impressive sandbox. And again, sandboxes are rarely this good. The ship's systems are obviously needing of design, so you actually know there's a lot to think about here. It's not, everything has function, which is more than I think other games, particularly Minecraft, can give you, because you have to obviously, you can build turrets, you can build fighters, AI fighters at that. But you also have to build a working ship. It's not just a block that you're moving around. You have to actually make it function. So I think it's definitely worth a look. I don't know if if you watch these vids and you don't, you've not necessarily played this before. It's free. It's well worth a download. And to be honest, you'll be entertained for days. And it is a good game. So as it stands, that's looking pretty much repaired. So I think that's probably as good as it's going to be. Now, again, this is the interesting thing about it. So here we go. Let's start to maybe look at building a bit of a hull around this. But as you can see, as I zoom out, I start to see other problems. But anyway, that'll do. As you can see, there's a few holes in the hull. And again, this is the frantic nature of battle, because this thing was pounded, literally pounded to within an inch of its life, and make your own meme from that. And I think that's quite cool. Now, I wonder what it would be like with crew. So if we've got a firefight with a number of crew members on board, what would happen if they got hit by a laser beam? A, it would be funny, but B, it might kill them as well. So, all good stuff. And again, see my turrets have taken damage as well. So it's, a hell of a fight, to be honest. But, I want to do the old kind of thing where you say, well, you should see the other guy. But the fact is, I ran crying like a little girl. It was, it wasn't pretty, I'm going to be honest with you. And I was sort of sat there, kind of crying and squeeing as I thought to myself, I can't lose this ship. Because the irony was, you can save blueprints. So what you do effectively is you actually just save the blueprint of your entire ship into your computer's memory banks. But what I had done, which was rather stupid, is I had actually done all the extension work on this thing for a couple of hours and not saved it. So in theory, post in the comments if I'm wrong, but in theory I would have lost everything. So that genuine feeling of panic was very apparent. And let's just say I needed to clean my captain's chair after I got somewhere safe. But I think in terms of the game as it stands, I think it's a phenomenally clever game. We are going to do a server of this. Now I keep saying that, but again, just so you know, I'm actually moving house in 2 weeks. Again, which is annoying. But basically going to be moving. So I'm thinking to myself, let's get that out of the way, and then we can basically focus on this. And I think that also goes for some of the other video video series I do. Just really trying to kind of keep afloat at the moment, because it's a hell of a process moving house, I must admit, and it's something that I think has taken me quite a while to get around. But anyway, so I think in terms of the StarMade server, we'll certainly get there. I think at the moment we're more just interested in getting the game a bit more developed. I think I've not really looked at the patch notes for a while as well, and I think the forums as well. So I'm kind of keen to see what's coming soon. So, as it stands, what we need to do now is fit bigger turrets. So the problem we had with, oh bugger, that's always annoying when you do that, because you've got to go reselect your computer. There we go. So what I'm thinking is we need better turrets. So I think let's have a look at that. Now, in terms of turrets, what you can effectively do is build, you need to obviously dock them in a turret dock. So as you can see here, I'm just making a bit of space. Now the turret enhancers, that's literally all they do. They just increase the size and scope of the blocks. You see there, as I've dropped those blocks, and it's made a much bigger block. So I can dock a bigger turret, and the docking for the ships works exactly the same way. And what I'm thinking is, obviously those two cannon turrets at the back you can see there are they're not fit for purpose. So what I need is actually some turrets that are probably missile loaded, probably got 4 or even 8 shot, cannons, and I think they'll basically do the job. I think in terms of also the way that the cannons work is if you get the AI correct, you obviously need to shield the turret as well, because it is a mini ship. Think of it as that. And as long as you shield it correctly, then you can basically you can have quite a powerful turret that will, in theory, auto track and blah blah blah. So it's a pretty good thing. Best thing to do if you're going to build turrets is go and do it at a shop. So we're just going to relocate to a shop. So we go. Let's find our wonderful shop. And because what you can do is you can store a blueprint of the turret and then build it completely from. And you need to just be in the range of the shop. So I do find that your shops, I wish they called them ports. It's a bit more realistic because ports effectively are what they are. So let's just move quickly there. So look at this, isn't that great view? I've always quite liked the idea of the Star Destroyer bridge. It's kind of very high looking down across almost like an oil tanker. Do you know what I mean? That kind of oil tanker view from the captain's point. So I think that's pretty much what I think appeals to me. And I think I want to kind of keep pushing this Titan more so. I think as kind of time goes on, I would love to make this a huge sector-wide ship, but I'm curious to see how big you can basically build these things. So we go just testing our modules, so that's good. The cannon looks like it's working now. I think my salvages are working. We'll test that later maybe, but yeah, as it stands, I think the key thing really is defense, shields and power and all that, and the ability to micro out of there, or literally fly the hell away, are so important. I think that's something I really was, that's pretty much the only reason I survived, because I was taking a hell of a beating. One of the other things to do is also protect your core. I mean, my core at the moment is that thing there, and it's very vulnerable. So I think eventually I'm going to have to start thinking about protecting it with a lot more hardened plates and things like that. So I think that's going to be pretty important. Anyway, so let's cut there. Well, what we'll do in the next one is we'll show you how we build the turrets, and we'll show you how we anchor them to the ship. But I hope you enjoyed that. That was repairing my mighty boosh, and we'll see you next time.